chaos.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Chaos.
let that chaos reign with.
Must reign.
Yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another edition, a very special broadcast here on the Chaos Rain Show. I am Chaos Rain, and today, this might be a new series, depending on the viewers, but nonetheless, the information is information, and I think it's so right for me to reveal it to y'all in person and get your thoughts. Now, mind you, this might not get much attention. Hell, some people might not even watch this or know what's going on. But at the end of the day, information is needed and information needs to be put out. The title, Busted, The Latex Condom Conspiracy by Keidi, Awadu. And the purpose of this stream is to give out more in-depth information about this thing we call sex, or what is called the delusion or illusion of what is, or what the people want to perceive as safe sex. Now, this information is for information purpose only, and I will always advise most people should get the book itself. And I know most people won't read, so I'll do the reading for you. So no further ado, we'll go into it. And I'm going to go to every chapter. Well, we'll look at a few chapters here and there. As you know, this book was released in 2022. And this book looks like it's been written pretty well. Not a lengthy book. I think this book is roughly almost 100 pages long with deep information and some index. So, no further ado, let me begin. And as I begin, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, like always. And as I'm going through this, I'm just going through my videos, make sure I'm able to see everything's playing good. It looks like everything's playing well and good. What's good, Mr. O? And anybody else, please like the stream. Stream is, goes well when you hit the like button. If not, who knows? People won't watch it. So let's begin with the first chapter. Astronaut. And please share the stream. And let me turn on volume so I don't hear echo. There we go. And I'll look from time to time to see what we're doing on the likes. Chapter 1. Disquieting the news from the condom industries. And there is a saying, which I'll let y'all read for yourself if you get the book. I'm just going to get straight to the meat of things. As distributions as this may sound, or as disturbing as it may sound, Eric Ham had put off college to dive into what she believes would be a booming industries of the 1990s. So in 1991, with the assistance of her mother and against her father's advice, and it's funny, women love sex, for those that don't know. They surely do love sex. Because she's the one that, once you hear more, you get understanding. And, a lot of women don't want to listen to their fathers anyway, but that's another story. She opened a small boutique in Long Beach, California, which she calls Condom Wraps. At its height, Condom Wraps offer a wide variety of prophylactic styles, some of 400 different types, from rubbing to liquid flavors to Black history themes to a German brand with a name she cannot pronounce, which German is they kind of grunt. If you know how when you hear them talk, it's not like a formal language, it's more of like grunt, for sake of conversation. I can't grunt because I'm not going to do that. Expected to ride the wave of the AIDS-inspired hysteria over the dangers of unprotected intercourse, or what is referred to sex, which was sweeping the nation and filling countless news reports. Aaron Ham likely had a vision of becoming a highly successful young California entrepreneur with the attendant's dreams of cruising along Highway 1 in a luxurious sports car. And I hope the sports car is particularly what do you call it? A Maserati, a Lamborghini, or even go as far as one of those Ferraris. Okay. But by 1995, the bottom was falling out of the retail condom business. So there was a sort of decline of that time. Was falling out of the retail condom business. And Aaron dreams of riding the safe sex wave to material success had become victims to the reality that the public hadn't completely bought into the hype. Now, I'm not sure what we mean by hype, because remember, when over a decade since the 80s, when they made it known worldwide that this thing we call AIDS was a real thing, and it was deleting hundreds to even close to thousands, and even go as far as millions of people during that point in that time, especially the 80s. And even going to the 90s, we're not sure what happened. All right, where am I? Okay. I'm gonna read again because I think I lost my track. Oh no, yes. To material success had become victims to the reality that the public hasn't completely bought into the hype. In December of 1995, which is roughly now 31 years ago, Lehman closed her little boutique even after trying to rescue the entrepreneurs or the enterprise by expanding into an array of sexual paraphernalia, or paraphernalia. If I pronounce right, I get tongue-tied. I apologize. Which includes leather, sex wear, adult gadgetry, edible boxers, shorts, bubble gum flavor, latex gloves. Very disturbing. You had to eat the bubble gum of a latex something. Appealing to more decent interests, still didn't provide for Aaron dreams of condom wraps, had to call it a wrap. And I mean a wrap, literally. Similarly, nationwide, of the hundreds or more stores similar to condom wraps, which opened at about the same time, and estimate 80% of them had closed by 1995. Damn. 80%. Wow, okay. Only one major condom retailer, Condom Mania, has managed to stay ahead of the collapse. Its founder, Adam Glackman, stated his comment to persist. I see more and more indications that condoms are becoming more accepted and that the stigma and taboos are being shed. It seems that ever since that fateful day of April 23rd, 1984, when U.S. Departments of Health and Human Service Secretary Margaret Heckler and the now discredited retrovirologist Robert J. Gallo, I think I heard about Gallo, J. Gallo, announced that Gallo and all had discovered the probable cause of the AIDS. The condoms industry had been touting to become quite a boom, backed by the National Institute of Health, NIH, and the Federal Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Numerous pharmaceuticals manufacturers and safe sex advocates from every persuading condom missionary have been jumped out of the bushes seemingly every time that young people of childbearing age got in proximity of each other. That's very interesting. That's something to note. Even now, if you think about it, if you all can remember with the LGBTQ, movement and all that stuff, right? There was a point and stretch that they were pushing, alternative ways of young people to have intercourse, and I think they put it in the school system. Last my check, somebody had to double check that, but yeah, I noticed there was a trend and a push and institutionalized to teach intercourse the incorrect way to a lot of students, from my memory. Yeah. And now let's continue. Author Eleanor Burkett describes the scramble amongst condom manufacturers racing to expand their markets after the discovery of the suspect, casualty HIV and its definition as a sexually transmitted pathogen. Burkett wrote, and this is what was written: latex barriers have been pronounced protective against the transmission of HIV, and government and nonprofit agencies began spending millions to disturb condoms in clinics, AIDS information centers around the world. And America became increasingly aware of the mounting epidemic and increasingly worries that they too might be at risk. Condoms and commodities that languish on drugstores' shelves after more conventions in sex-friendly forms of birth control were introduced, founded a new market niche and new market tools. We're going to pause right there for a second. If you come to this, video or stream, give this video a like, a comment, and please subscribe to the Chaos Rain Show. Yeah, that's all right. Let me do this. All right, let's continue. Ansel Corporation hired Dr. Ruth Westenhern, the reigning elf queen of the sex show circuit, to endorse lifestyle condoms on her cable television and radio program. Smith Laboratories launched the exciting Festa line, condoms in bright colors, and turned up the heat in the condom wars by spending an airplane over New York beaches with a banner reading plan ahead with Ramses. Whatever that means. Plan ahead with Ramses. The best plug of all came when Magic Johnson announced that he was HIV positive in November of 1991. I'm sorry, 1991. I think that was last year when he played in the finals against the Bulls and lost the Bulls. Ironically, he retired that year or the next year, I think. The next day, Carter Wallace stock began trading with a $8 a share raise. His infection was a gold mine for Umoja Salsa products. The Baltimore market of a Afrocentric condom package in a red, black, and green matchbox with the outlines of the African on the back with the translation of Umoja, Swahili for unity now. Ain't that something? One Night recalls this period coinciding with the rise amongst rappers and hip-hop artists of the Jimmy hats, subjects which became all the rage in a manner like how. The U.S. Agencies for International Development, and it's in short USAID, had managed to entice the popular Nigerian recording artist King Sunny Ade to produce soundtracks that support their convert population program in the early 1990s. It seems that rappers were dealing with each other to create the most popular promotion for condom usage. Along with the rapper, condom advocacies became popular with the actor, soap operas, and daytime television talk shows. Condom advocacies became so pervasive that even contemplating having unprotected sex was equating with lunacy. Yet, latex lunacy, that's a big word, has permeated the overwhelming propaganda campaign, which has heightened terror within the mind of far too many young people over the risk of unprotected sex. Witness the fond displays of such craziness. 1 second, guys. Do a pause. I'm just checking something right now. I'm just gonna pause for a second. Hold on. I'm just checking something right now, guys, before I continue. All right, let's continue. At Dartmouth, an official student group, RAID, Responsible AIDS Information at Dartmouth, put on an exhibition of safe sex in which a male student held a plunger between his legs. Oh, that's crazy. And a female student slide the condom and all that. Let me skip all that. The students did time contest to see who could place the thing on a object the fastest. RAID hand out safe sex kits to enter first year students and prepare its own Valentine's gift package, a piece of chocolate and a condom. This provokes Dartmouth journalist W.R. Grace to comment, "I wouldn't advise purchasing a RAID Valentine gift package for your one and true love. It's difficult to tell a woman that you love her and then give her a condom so that you don't catch her or what we consider the dis-ease. To which I would add that in selecting the woman, they want to be their wives and the mothers of their children. Most men don't look for proficiency in putting on a condom. Yes, the condom missionaries are on the attack. They're penetrating into the inner sanctums of our families' private lives is potentially and threatening, as when the first European Christian missionaries penetrate the indigenous culture of people of color throughout the planet. Condom missionaries, backed by the U.S. Supreme Court, have access to our children through the school-based clinical hands out their Trojan horse, despite parental wishes and court challenges to the contrary. These despicable condom missionaries have also made their presence known within the youth dance culture and groups based in Southern California, which call itself Reach LA, Realistic Education Action Coalition, to foster health. Sponsors rave dance where activity centers around latex obsession and accurate and simple AIDS propaganda. The outreach works group goes on in the Latex Lounge, which attracts a steady stream of teens. There is a fortune-telling tent that utilizes artist Kim Abi's HIV/AIDS tarot cards and mini pool games where players use their own tongues as cues, pushing through the latex dental theme of maneuvering the ball. Even twisters here have become a safe sex learning tool, and as information tables manner of educational volunteers use and can pick up accurate and simple information about AIDS and its preventions. For those who want it, there is on-site HIV antibodies testing as well. While Reach LA is aimed at educating all teenagers, it has particularly target African Americans and Latinos. We should have known by then that something was horribly wrong with the latex condom. These extensive problems will be revealed throughout this entire book and ensure that it can challenge present by ideas of safe sex, condomania, and the HIV/AIDS hypothesis, and are the more serious that the vast majority could presently imagine. We're going to take a break 1 second. 1 second. I'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. All right. Make sure you guys like, stream, and share the stream. Let me see what we're doing. The likes. Likes are okay. It could be better. It could always be better. Likes could be always better. All right. Okay, let's do chapter 2, and then that will be pretty much it. All right, chapter 2. The safe sex science versus propaganda. And there's a subtext, a saying, which you can read if you get the book yourself. When one takes the time to analyze the massive social pressures to utilizing latex condoms, it is nearly unavoidable. That's the question arise as to whether the safe sex campaign is based upon honest science or merely political propaganda. Certain key questions must be posed and honestly dealt with, and should the dialogue be strictly adherent to biological science. According to my own experience with the safe sex issue, I believe that the following critical questions must be proposed. And here are the questions. Is the HIV equals AIDS epidemic equation as inflammable hypnosis? What is the conclusive evidence that HIV is a sexually transmitted disease, STD? You don't. That's my answer to that question. Next one. If HIV is an STD, what is the statistical risk of transmitting it through unprotected sex? Good question. They don't got no data on it. If they do, you got to question it. How effective is widely touted latex condoms for stopping the transmission of microorganisms and infectious disease? Are there any attendees risk associated with frequent latex condoms usage that pose equally dangerous or greater health risk? That's a good question. I have spent no small amount of time or labor searching for definite answers to these questions. In the 11 years since I became obsessed with this topic of acquiring immune disease or immune deficient syndrome, which you know is AIDS, while this particular treatise is not intended to focus on the HIV and the AIDS, it is no doubt critically to our topic of condom madness that the issue of the HIV / the AIDS hypnosis is addressed. Later in this chapter, I explain why I have confidently been pronouncing AIDS as one of the greatest medical hoax of the 21st century. To put in brief here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points that he has made. And he's going to go through each one. Number 1, I consider the HIV equals AIDS epidemic hypothesis to be significantly flawed and unscientifically sound. Number 2, the evidence on sexual transmission of HIV is so inconsistent and its ability to detect the HIV infection is so flawed that I am not convinced that anyone can prove HIV is transmission. Sorry. That's number 2. Number 3, the statistical risk for catching the HIV through unprotected heterosexual intercourse encounters with a known HIV infection individual is so minuscule, especially when comparing to the traditional STDs, that it could be regarded as a non-threatening to the general public. Number 4, even if the HIV were to treat being touted in the mainstream, latex condoms are known to be filled with microscopic holes that are much larger than the AIDS virus. And the incident of condoms breakage has always been a cause for concern. Yeah, because everybody know that they put holes in the condoms when they poke it. Y'all aware of that, right? I don't know for sure if I covered this on my channel, but I remember talking about this years ago. And I'm not sure people would catch on to that, but just saying. Number 5, when the scientific lectures examine, there are some terrible problems associated with widespread of latex condoms usage, some of which have yet to be fully understood by the scientific establishment itself. On October 21st, 1997, just 2 days after I appeared on a popular New York City radio talk show, a Selly personal production recalled batches of 3 brands of condoms after discovering that some may break. Ooh. Woo! Did not know that. Some of the 57 million condoms from the Lifestyle, Prime, and Contempt brands were subject to the recall to the Food and Drug Administration announced. I'm hesitant to claim credit for the condom recall, even though as part of the appearance on the radio program, I had trashed the widespread acceptance of latex condoms. I put forth some of the research that appears in the article. Nonetheless, to recall support, I doubt that I had deliberately sown in the listeners' minds that all is well in the condom advocacy campaign. Such coincidence, a coincidental or condescensional reinforcement of one controversial claim can be quite welcome. Because of the potential risk of injury to the reproductive process by the widespread acceptance and usage of what I term the damn latex condom, I have taken it upon myself to become the most informed person I know of this subject. Accordingly, I have made 4 trips now to the campus of Emory University, which is home base to the CDC. So he took a trip there personally, which is a smart move. Within the aligned health libraries at the esteemed college campus, I have retrieved dozens, if not hundreds, of scientific papers which put this whole subject of safe sex into a much greater perspective. Yet, when others review the lecture that I have collected, or literature that I've collected on these subjects of condoms, latex, HIV, AIDS, and governmental sponsored propaganda, that are equally shocked that such a scandal could be pulled off right underneath their nose. I have some to believe that the problem with these notions of safe sex and condom madness have manifest in creation a high level of reproductive disease, sterilizing cancers, infertility, and stolen potential. Thus, for me, this issue of busting the latex condom conspiracy has become a scared mission. With the blessings of the Almighty Creator and my beloved answers, when I say most, I must be the truth, because the stakes in this case are so very high. And that's the end of chapter 2. We're going to stop there. Now, I hope you guys, when you go back to replay this, which is not very long, lengthy, you leave comments, your thoughts and opinions about this. I mean, there's a lot that's been said. I think right now there is conspiracy in a lot of things. I don't really think that there's such thing as safe sex in this time and age we're in now. Even the notion or the term safe of anything, you always have to question, because other people use condoms, right? Allegedly. But really, the condoms, you know, is what they commercialize mostly black and brown nations. Have y'all noticed that? Y'all be the judge. Anyhow, leave your comments, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Until next time, you know, take care.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos
let that chaos reign with,
must reign.